Hello everyone and welcome. This is NanoTechNoob and I'm here to bring you episode 9 of our Minecraft Let's Play. As you can see, we're back here in the base. Last episode we got the walls up and it is currently raining, so you know what that means. We're going to be doing the floor. So between episodes I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of gravel, sand, and crafted up a bunch of different concrete types. We've got a bunch of white and a bunch of gray concrete. As you can see, we've got the colors up for the different tunnels. For example, the lime green that's going to be going to the farming section. And I promise that's not the only decorations we're going to be doing on the walls. We will be getting to that later on today. But I thought I would go ahead and start work on the area. So, yeah, I've already basically built up how I'm wanting it to look, so I'll just go ahead and get it built up or get it started so that you guys can see how it's going to look. So the plan with this area is or in each of these corners, for example where we have the scaffolding in this corner, we'll be having an elevator. I believe this side will have the magma block elevator, so the one that pulls down, and then on the opposite corner we'll have the soul sand, and then just repeat it around, so magma, soul sand, magma, soul sand, so that way we've got two entrances and two exits. I believe I explained it in the last episode that we're going to be having a ceiling on top of here, and then covering it with terrain and building a facade on top of it. I don't exactly know what I'll be doing for the facade, but I think I said I'd be doing a medieval theme. I'm not too sold on that idea, actually, because, you know, everyone does medieval themes. I'm thinking on top of it we'll be doing more of a modern style, primarily because I've never done a modern build. As much as I like the concrete blocks, I've only built stuff in creative worlds that resemble that of like factories, but never a modern building style. So I think that will be a pretty interesting thing to have in the world. Yeah. You know, I probably could have left one of these corners built so that I could demonstrate it to you, but I haven't done really any building on camera. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to actually do a little bit of building on camera for the episode. So this is sort of how the floor is going to look. I think actually I want to take out this line right here. I'll do that in a second. But for now, I'll go ahead and grab the lime concrete. So then we'll have a lime line going from the center point of the base down towards the corridor, because I had the idea I kind of want these lines on the floor, like sort of marking how facilities work, where they've got color-coded, you know, lines that direct you to certain areas of the facility. So, for example, we'll have the lime one leading all the way down this tunnel to where the farming area is going to be. But yeah, it was getting night, so let me go ahead and sleep for a second. And I've kind of come to the realization about the bamboo farm back there. It is actually pretty slow. I've disabled the XP part about it because it's just not big enough, in all honesty. Spoilers. Nah, I'm just kidding. This isn't exactly spoilers. It's that's where I'm gonna be having the what is it? The storage area. The main storage area is gonna be just underneath this instead of being all the way down at the bottom of the world. So go ahead and just pop down here. So yeah, this area down here, I can't reach. Yeah, this area down here is going to be the main storage area. I think a few layers below this is where we'll have the bulk storage area that I mentioned in the last episode. Yeah. Primarily because I don't want to be, like, say I need a bunch of cobblestone, I don't want to have to go all the way down to the bottom of the world just to grab a few bits of it. So yeah. Go ahead and wipe this up for a second. Oh, and as you can also see, we've got some glowstone in here. I know they changed the texture of glowstone, but personally I still think that it's a sort of ugly block. It does look much better than when it was added into the game, but yeah. So go ahead with this. So again, I said this side is going to be the soul sand elevator, so I'll go ahead and show you how I had it designed. So basically just like every other bubble elevator you'll see, but instead we've got just panes going all the way up the side here, so that way we can just walk in and get sent up, and then on the magma block side it'll make it easier so we don't take damage and, you know, potentially damage our armor every time we enter into the base. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. You can't place scaffolding on soul sand. I mean, it makes sense considering it's not a full block, but, you know, it would have been nice to be able to place it. So yeah, that's basically how it's gonna look. I think that might be one block too high. I don't have a silk touch pick on me for once. Yeah. I'll finish designing this and then I'll finish building this and then I'll get back to building the decorations on the wall. So let me go ahead and get the water placed in here and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, I got the rest of the floor finished up and also the bubble elevators. So we've got the one that goes up here and the ones that go down there and there. And the floor is looking rather neat and organized, if I do say so myself. It does remind me of a board game, but for some reason I can't put my finger on it. So if you know what board game it sort of resembles, then let me know down in the comments. But yeah, so as you can also see, next to the walls we got a few white spots. These are where we're going to be adding some supporting structure, or some basically support pillars, just to give this place a more structured feel to it instead of it just being a big gray box with colors and a white floor. So we'll leave the design that I had was just bringing wrong one. So bringing this one up by a few blocks, basically all the way up to the top of the wall here. Then same with this one down here. And these two will just come out and meet like so. Put some torches on it so we don't get mobs spawning when it turns night. And then this one over here we'll work on next. So this one is going to meet up with another one, but it's not going to meet up with that one. In fact, it's going to come out by one more block. I'm just going to go meet up with this one over here, just so that it's sort of like an archway that, or not really an archway, but a supportive beam that reaches across, so that way when the roof is on, it will look like it is actually being held up towards the center as well as on the edges here. so. Put some more torches down. Alright. And then basically just repeating the same thing all the way around. And then we'll get the roof on afterwards, and it should look rather nice. As I said, I have built this up already and torn it down just so I could build it on camera. But I haven't built the roof fully on, so I'm hoping that it'll look nice. I built a little bit of a segment of it just in this area, but even then I probably didn't get a good enough look at it to really be able to make a judgment call there. So we run off over here, we can see that looks like it's got a few supporting beams up, and I think that looks very nice, very sort of modern, maybe facility or lab type structure. Right. And then we'll go ahead and build up the rest of this, and yeah, I will be right back once these are all in place, and then we will put the rest of the roof on. Creepers, man. Oh, and looks like we got ourselves a little villager buddy. Or at least we did. Well, back to building. It has been daytime for the past, like, 5 minutes. I got creepered again. This is about 5 minutes after the, or not even, it's more like a minute after the last one that I just showed. Creepers, man. Can't seem to catch a break. It's been about 40 seconds since the last cut. I just finished repairing the creeper hole, and then these guys show up. This place was completely empty. That's fine though. I've got pretty decent armor on. I think I forgot to mention that in the last episode, but I've basically just been using regular iron armor, unenchanted. And, oh, there's another one. You could have survived, but you had to open your nose. Yeah, as you can see, I've got some pretty decent armor, with, you know, the exception of these two pieces right here. But it means I can, you know, just go jump off a cliff and be completely fine, as opposed to, you know, taking one creeper to the face and dying. I probably would have died, you know, 3 times making this, or just building the roof part in the past 5 minutes if I didn't get this armor. Yeah. Pillages, man. Back to building. Alright, floor is done, elevators are done, support beams are done, and banner is done. Wait, that's not mine. Yes, so I believe it's time to start placing in the roof. So since this is all going to be buried, I am going to cut a few corners, because apparently gathering a lot of gravel is actually pretty tedious if you don't have a, or especially if you don't have a silk touch shovel. Because then you get a bunch of flint and a lot of gravel you could have gotten just got wasted, because, let's be honest, nobody ever actually uses flint anymore for really anything, because, you know, you've got skeleton farms that you can make, and yeah, those are already pretty overpowered. So, yeah, it's a shame, but it's pretty much a staple of Minecraft at this point. You can't really get rid of flint from gravel. But yeah, so just gonna go ahead, fill in the spaces where the where the air gaps are with the gray concrete, and go ahead and jump down and have a look at it so you can see roughly how it's going to look. So basically like that all the way around. In the center, I'm probably going to have another white spot, sort of like how we have these white spots down here, just to give it a little more variety, so it isn't just flat gray like these, or well, especially like these sections. And I am planning on doing something up here. I was thinking something along the lines of having banners that say what's in that direction. Yeah, it'll entirely depend on if, you know, I can make banners that will, or, you know, make banners with letters and have enough space up there for that. So no farms will fit pretty nicely right there, but I'll have to figure out different names for the other wings and, you know, what's going to be going in them. So we'll go ahead and get the roof built in off camera again. Be back when it is done, because there is another project I want to work on before the end of this episode. And if I had to guess, we're already running at about maybe 10-15 minutes. So go ahead, get this built up, and I will be right back. You know, I just found another way to place some concrete powder, or well, concrete when building, so that way you don't have to constantly make the concrete, break it, and then place it where you want it. I also might have just stumbled across a way of making a nice scaffolding based sand trap, where you just stack scaffolding with a falling or a block that can fall, and then attach signs to said falling block. Then once the bottom scaffolding breaks, everything will fall down, and you'll see that in a second. Just go ahead and place these last bits of powder, and then just real quick get rid of that so we don't spill it all down there. Yeah. Then we just convert all of the concrete powder here. This and that's it. Then we get attacked by zombies, and before we do, we just pop down here, break the bottom scaffolding, and all the signs will break, and just collect whatever falling block there was. And same thing here. And the roof is in place. So that's, that is pretty cool. I swear, I really hate creepers now. Creepers, man. Alright, so the ceiling is now done, and as you can see, it is looking absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm not buying it either, but it's a good thing this is going to be buried, and, you know, well, thought I heard something. Yeah, you won't have to see this from the outside, but from the inside. I haven't looked up yet, so don't exactly know how the roof looks. So, doesn't actually look too bad, in all honesty. Some lighting is definitely in order, but other than that, it looks really nice, if I do say so myself. Nice and clean. Yeah. So, considering the size and where I'll need access points up to the top, I was actually thinking, what if I did a sort of Roman-style villa or house or whatever you would call it, where these could be hidden underneath some pillars, so that way I'd have secret entrances and exits from the base down here into a Roman style villa. I think that would be pretty nice. And this would be sort of like a fountain located in the center of the villa itself. I took this water from my priest. I'm trying to figure out where I took it. Yeah. So, for example, I believe it's Black Ops 3 has a map that is sort of like a Roman-styled house, and in the center it's got in the center of the house it's got sort of like a lowered garden between the two spawn areas, so I'm thinking of sort of doing something like that for this area. But that will be done on a different episode. For now, I want to go to another place over by where the village is, actually, because there's a new project that I wanted to work on. So I'll meet you guys over there in just a second. Alright, so I'm over by the village, and while I was covering this area in snow, mainly this area over here, something caught my eye. As you can see right up there, we have ourselves a dungeon. I've already explored inside of it. The only notable thing that was inside was just another regular golden apple. But as you can see, I've got myself a pet wolf in here. If you haven't seen my most recent video, I made a skeleton XP farm that uses the wolves to kill the skeletons automatically. The design was based off of something that Ilmango had made. And a link to the video, or a link to my video, will be down in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. But since I've already done a tutorial on it, I'm just going to go ahead and build it, not on camera, and I will be back once I got it done. Alright, I'm back, and I have got the entire skeleton farm completely built up. It is extremely ugly at the moment, but if I go ahead and throw these armor stands in, you can see they are all now in place. There's only 4 in there. 4 should be enough because I have this bringing skeletons all the way up and dropping them down to where they should be one hit for the wolf. So let me go ahead, hop up here. Everything up here definitely needs to be decorated because it is just horrendously ugly because it's all primarily cobblestone and stone bricks. Yeah, I'll definitely be fixing that in the future. So we'll figure out how to get rid of these torches without getting killed by skeletons. They're just separate at spawn on the cobblestone. I'm running a pretty big risk of them doing that. They're already spawning. Okay. Maybe. It's dark. Ah! Don't kill me. I'll pay for that. Like 5 seconds. Ow. Yeah. Cover that. Completely ignore that. Yeah, but we will be definitely decorating this later. Because it's just terrible to look at. But yeah, no. We go down here. We can hear the skeletons. Might replace the floor with glass so we can see them spawning. Might not. I'm leaning more towards the putting the glass in though. But with luck, the skeletons should be coming down in a few seconds, hopefully. While we wait, go ahead and lock that up so I don't get booted. And you can see these skeletons are one shot for the wolf. Perfect. The drops should be getting collected here. And yes, they are. Okay, that is a success, if I do say so myself. Go ahead and show you back here. We just got a... we got a dispenser right here. This is where the armor stands will come in. If they get shot, they'll probably only get shot by skeletons that survive the fall damage, meaning the ones that have armor. And if they do, they'll just get recycled into this. But yeah, if you want to check it out in more detail, go ahead and check the link in the description that will lead to the video. And it will show you how to build it, all its features, and yeah. But if I had to guess, we're probably a bit out of time, so next episode we'll probably finish up the green tunnel for the farming area on the base, maybe decorate this a little, and probably find a few more interesting things to do. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh, and also, I have been running this version in, as you can see, the fabric loader, which is, from what I'm aware of, it is made by the Psycraft server. I'm using that primarily because I got excited and really want to start a Skyblock Let's Play because I have always wanted to do a Skyblock Let's Play. And I made a very small data pack that changes just a little bit to the game. That way you have access to sand and gravel. I'll talk about it more when I actually get started on that series, but until then, I will see you guys in the next episode. So if you enjoyed the video, share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy the video, then share it with your enemy. Leave a like and comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.